Scorpios can't be regular sad. Scorpios have to be extra sad in order to beat you in your levels of sadness. All right, I mean, are you over it? My son's in Gemini, so for me, it's like, and does anybody know a Scorpio moon? My God. Welcome back to this channel, co-creators. It is mysticrainn, your resident internet psychic medium and spiritual advisor. And today we are going to be doing a full moon video. I'm going to tell you everything that you need to worry about. So before I jump in, if you would like to have an astrology report, and in that astrology report, we've got love reports. If you want to have your birth chart and see your natal report, we can do that as well. If you want to book a time with me for a spiritual hour, or if you want spiritual coaching, check out the links in the description box below. You guys, this is the first time that I'm actually doing a full moon video, and I am actually surprised. How have I not done this before? I don't know. I'm thinking probably because I never paid attention to the calendar, but I paid attention this time, baby. And here we go, because it's going to be a doozy. So this video is going up a week before the full moon because I want to give you time to prepare. Because what I do not want is mysticrainn. I don't know, the full moon came around and it hit me and I was heavily affected by it. But like, I just feel like you shouldn't be, because I'm going to tell you everything that's going to happen and you will have enough time to prepare yourself for that entire week. For those people that come across this video after the fact, well then I do feel a little bit sorry for you, because this one's going to be a little bit rough. So this full moon, and I'm looking at the chart here, and the chart will be over here somewhere, so you'll see what I'm looking at. In my time zone, and you will see, my time zone is the Eastern Daylight Savings time zone at this moment, because I'm based in Atlanta, but this is the same thing for if you're based in New York or if you're based in DC. For any of my people in California, change it to Pacific time. If you're in the mountain region, change it to mountain time. If you're over there in London, bump it up 5 hours. Do what you have to do in order to make it fit. For people that live in the Eastern time zone, the moon will be full at 100% at 11:31 p.m. April 26th. For some of you other people, if you are ahead, so anybody that's Europe and over, it'll be April 27th at like 12:17 or something like that, okay? So the chart that we're looking at is specifically from my time zone, but it all stays the same. So this moon is called the worm moon, worm as in like the little bug that wiggles. But perhaps the most interesting is that this is a supermoon. So let's talk about supermoons real quick. It is very debatable how many supermoons we have in a year. The number is usually anywhere from 2 to 4, and it has everything to do with the astrologer, right? Not everybody considers all the moons to be a supermoon. It has to do with the degree of closeness the moon is to the earth, and people have their different ranges. So because of that, we can have 2 to 4 depending on whether or not someone agrees that that range is close enough to be considered a supermoon. So this moon is going to be a supermoon, and a supermoon just means that it's like a bigger moon. It's going to look bigger in the sky because it's closer to the earth, and so it looks super, right? So it's going to be a supermoon. The thing with this is that the energies, because it's closer to us, is going to be a bit more intense, and it's going to affect us a lot more. Now, this full moon is going to be in Scorpio, and I will get to you Scorpios in a minute, okay? Because I already got a problem with that. But let's talk about everything else. Okay, so according to my chart, in my notes, we've got full moon in Scorpio, and then Uranus is actually going to be in opposition. And this could be a little bit problematic because Uranus is like the planet of unexpected things, and it's a little bit rebellious, right? On top of that, it's sitting in Taurus, and Taurus, we all know, is stubborn, right? And then we have the Uranus is conjunct with the sun, meaning together, right? So if you look at the chart, you'll see that the sun and Uranus are next to each other. So you've got the sun in Taurus, right? You've got Uranus sitting next to it. So you've got the sun in Taurus. So it's already real sort of stubborn, bull energy, not willing to move, not willing to compromise. And then you've got Uranus next to it, right? This planet of unexpected things and changes, but also a little bit rebellious. And that's also sitting in Taurus as well. So you have that kind of unexpected thing energy, but it's happening in a very stubborn sign, right? So you're unexpected, but you're stubborn at the same time. So you're going to stick to your guns, but I don't even know what you're sticking to your guns about type energy. Then we also have in here, we've got Venus that's also sitting in Taurus as well. So, any sort of love matters or expression or things that you find pretty. And then we also have Mercury sitting there as well, right? So Mercury is also governs like mentals, communication, and different things like that. So because we've got Uranus sitting right there, right? We've got Venus that's close enough to it. I wouldn't say it's conjunct, but it's close enough to it. And Uranus is unexpected. You know, this means for some of you guys when it comes to your dating life that you are going to be a little bit intrigued by people that you probably wouldn't find to be your normal type. So I would actually hold off on dating for the week leading up and the week afterwards because you're going to make some weird decisions there. You're going to be attracted to people that you would normally be attracted to, and then when you come out of the fog of the full moon, you're going to look at them and you're going to be like, what just happened? Like, that's not what I meant to do. So be mindful of that in your dating life, right? I mean, play with it if you want to, because there's Uranus there, so it's all unexpected things. You never know, you may fall in love unexpectedly or whatever, but just know that you have a lot of that energy that's kind of at play. And then because you've got Uranus that is next to Taurus, you do have this like stubborn energy, but because it's also like unexpected things, I'm also going to ask you to be aware that you're going to be experiencing stale like energy and stalling in certain areas of your life. And it's going to look like unexpected stalls, right? So things are moving great. Like it could be in any area of your life. It could seem like it's moving fine, no problems. And then all of a sudden it's going to feel like you're hitting a brick wall. But you're going to notice this more so in sort of areas of love, but then also areas of like small business dealings, maybe small contracts and different things like that. It's just everything is going to hit a wall. Do not make any contracts during this time. Do not agree to any contracts during this time. Do not perform negotiations during this time. If you can avoid it during this time, please do not do it, because people are not going to be in the mood to compromise. They're not going to want to compromise. Everything is going to be stubborn, and the people that you're going to be dealing with are going to feel more stubborn. So also too, in your area of work, be mindful of the fact that your colleagues may come across more stubborn. If you're working in a group in order to finish a project or whatever, people are going to have ideas that are going to seem to come out of the blue that don't make a whole lot of sense, and they're not going to be really willing to budge on it. So going into that week, make sure that you're more flexible, because you know that this is going to be the energy that you're going to be working with anyway. Be more flexible. Try not to plan anything during this time. And if you do have to plan things during this time, make sure you're aware of the fact that you may have to be flexible about it, or that you may have to change it around, move it around. Maybe the meetings will go longer. Maybe the meetings will go shorter. But just be open to the fact that you're going to have to be more flexible, because other people won't be. And the problem of them not being flexible is that they're not going to even know what energies are kind of playing in the universe. And so for them, it may feel more intense, but because you now have knowledge, because I have now blessed you on your recommended page, you should not be the same way, because you can go into this week knowing what's actually happening. I would also suggest that you kind of use this time to practice resourcefulness, because things that are unexpected are going to happen. You may have to be willing to think on your toes and make fast different. Can you not do that? Can you not do that? Can you not chew on my baseboard? I would really appreciate it. I'm never going to get this deposit back. No, Mama. Duchess, you're being a very bad girl. That is not acceptable behavior. You're in timeout. Go lay down. Go lay down. Nope. Go lay down. You can't let her do that. Yeah, okay, and just be like ready to like maneuver because people are not going to be willing to compromise. So now, why does this matter? Well, it matters, Duchess. I just had a conversation with you. Okay, so why does this matter, right? So it matters because the full moon is in Scorpio. And does anybody know a Scorpio moon? My God. I cannot stand a Scorpio moon. My Gemini sun cannot stand a Scorpio moon. Scorpios in general are emotional, but a moon, oh my God, not okay. So you got a Scorpio moon. They're not only emotional, but they like to be emotional on a deep level. They like to dive deep into their emotions, rip it apart, put it under a microscope, and then they like to get upset over their scientific findings about why they're actually emotional in the first place. Scorpios can't be regular sad. Scorpios have to be extra sad in order to beat you in your levels of sadness. And a Scorpio moon is worse. They need to be sad times 3 to beat everybody. So hear me out here. You've got your Scorpio moon over there being sad on a really deep level. And then you've got everybody else hanging out in Taurus. They want to be stubborn. They don't want to budge. They don't want to compromise. And if you look at this chart, if you look at the moon, and the moon is on your top left-hand side, right? There's a little glyph there. It's the moon glyph. So your top left-hand side, sitting in its 11th house, right? In Scorpio. And then if you look, literally all the other celestial bodies are on the other side of the chart. This means that the Scorpio moon is going to be feeling really misunderstood and like nobody loves them and like nobody cares about them, right? And in direct opposition, so directly opposite of that, we've got a bunch of signs sitting in Taurus. We've got Sun in Taurus. That's bull energy, right? They're stubborn anyway. We all know that. And then you've got Uranus sitting next to it. So you got stubborn and unexpected things, people that are not willing to compromise. You've got Venus sitting there too, right? You've got Mercury sitting in there. So Mercury is all about communication, but now they're being stubborn about their communications. Nobody wants to budge. And then you got Scorpios sitting at the top over there crying in their feelings, and nobody else cares about it. Nobody else cares. So this full moon is going to be one of stubbornness, of people refusing to compromise, but then people being emotional about everything in between. So it's not going to be a situation of let's agree to disagree. It's going to be a situation of people feeling personally attacked because somebody else doesn't agree with what they're saying, or somebody else doesn't actually want to do what it is that they want to do. Not only that, like a Scorpio moon is like a little suspicious, right? But like in an emotional way. Like I'm a Gemini, right? And if I get suspicious, it's all facts related. Based off of A and B, I should have C. However, I have D. Therefore, I am suspicious because my alphabet isn't in the right order, right? A Scorpio moon is suspicious because their feelings are hurt, but they don't realize that 9 times out of 10, they're the ones that's actually hurting their own feelings, right? And so when you got everybody else sitting in Taurus, everyone's just looking at the Scorpio moon like, all right, I mean, are you over it? And then not only that, as I'm looking at the Scorpio moon is sitting in the 11th house, right? The 11th house is a house of friendship and membership. So they're going to be feeling completely left out. So nobody's going to be able to come to compromise. Nobody's ever going to be able to come to solution. Group work isn't going to work very well during this particular week. Relationships, you may have a little bit of butting heads in this particular week. And those people are going to be overly emotional about it. They're going to read way too much into what you actually put into it, way too much into what you said, way too much into your feelings. They're going to take everything you do as a personal attack. So the best thing that you can do is, now that I'm blessing you with this level of information, that you don't allow yourself to get involved in other people's dramas with self, because what's going to happen is people are going to be on edge and emotional. And so they're going to be looking for fights and looking for arguments. Stay out of that. Like, don't, because you now know, because I'm telling you, don't allow yourself to engage. Be flexible this week. Allow people to do whatever it is that they actually need to do in order to work out their emotions. And you allow yourself to take several steps back. I also want to say, too, that we've got the Scorpio moon energy going on. However, out of all the celestial bodies, 6 of them are sitting in earth signs, and 9 of them are in fixed signs. So you've got this incredibly emotional, like deeply, disgustingly emotional energy. And again, the Gemini in me, I don't actually have water in my chart. I have 1 water in my chart, and my Mercury is in Cancer. And so I have a way of communicating that hits you in the feels. Outside of that, I don't have any water in my chart. So, and my sun's in Gemini. So for me, it's like, but like, you've got the Scorpio moon energy, deeply emotional, right? But everybody else is incredibly grounded, but very grounded in a stubborn way. Nobody's budging. Nobody's moving. Nothing is going to get done this week. If you have to work with somebody else this week or work in a group, it's not going to get done this week. It's not going to get done. And if it does get done, it's going to be a painstaking process. I highly suggest that in the beginning of the week, you buy yourself a nice, strong bottle of red wine that you have on reserve so you can sip some every day after you go to work, after you go to school, after you finish dealing with your husband, after you finish dealing with them kids, because I'm telling you, everybody's going to have a problem and they're going to pick this week to have it. Okay? So there is your forecast for the full moon in Scorpio. I hope you have fun. But look, I say all that to say there's nothing for you to actually legitimately be worried about. That's just the energies at play. One thing I love about astrology is that if you allow yourself to be educated in what's happening, then you can plan for it. You can prepare for it. You don't have to internalize everything. So if you're dealing with people and they seem to be on edge, or they seem to be coming at you harder than they would normally do, or like throwing little jabs at you, understand that it's like a planetary energy and it's not a you energy, and they just don't know what's going on and they probably can't adjust. And don't allow yourself to take it personal. Be really flexible during that week and let everything roll off your back and shrug it off, because that's what's going to be going on for this particular full moon. We also have to consider the fact that we are going to be we have just come out of Aries energy and we are going into Taurus energy, right? In terms of the zodiac. So Aries is number 1 in the zodiac. They come first. They are the drivers. They are the movers and the shakers. They are hot. They are fiery. They are driven, and they come first. They just do. I'm a rising Aries. That's why people always think that I'm fiery when, well, maybe I guess I could come across, I could see how somebody would see me as fiery, actually, now that I say this out loud. I can see how that would be a conclusion, because I am a rising Aries, and I'm also incredibly brainy, but like, I digress. Aries comes first. And the problem is Aries is ending, going into Taurus. So you have Aries, which is fire, and Aries is the ram, and they're gunning for it, man. They're going. And then they hit Taurus, which is a bull, and they hit like a brick wall. And at the same time those two energies are hitting, we've got Scorpio and Moon on the other side of the zodiac throwing a damn tantrum. Okay, so you gotta consider the fact that all of those energies are at play at the same time during this particular full moon. Now, if you are someone that would like a ritual for the full moon, I would suggest that you just, maybe pray it out. Maybe sit this one out. Maybe sit it out, because it's not a productive full moon, in my opinion. Some other people may say something else. For me, it's not a productive full moon. I feel like if you're going to do something, make sure you're doing something that's working on self. I wouldn't really do energy for, money or work, because this is the energy where people are not going to have the ability to compromise. Contracts and negotiations there's not going to be a meeting of the minds during this particular time. And if you're doing business for yourself, like you want to do like maybe candle magic on your own business, that's fine, go for it. You know what I mean? But if you want to do business in relation to other people, maybe you have a contract that's on the table that you're hoping closes. Maybe there's a job that you really, really want. I would actually sit this full moon out. It's not, in my opinion, a productive full moon. You know, maybe pray. And then if you are in a relationship, I would suggest that during this time, you allow yourself to be more patient and have more grace and space with your partner. Don't allow, if you were to get into a tiff or in an argument during this particular time in your relationship, don't allow that to be the argument that ends the relationship. Like, you really need time to sit on it. I would say give it about 2 weeks before you start evaluating what happened in said argument, and then start making decisions. Don't make any hard decisions on relationships during this particular time. And honestly, I don't know. You probably want to sit this one out. You want to, light a candle and to give thanks. I don't know, but this is not one that I would work with. This is not candle magic energy that I feel the need to participate in. I will just say it like that. Now, if you would like your own astrology report, so if you would like your own birth chart, your own natal report, the link for that is in the description box below. If you want to have an astrology report on yourself and like your love life, so like a romantic report, the link for that is in the blah 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 blah. The link for that is in the description box below. And again, if you need me for a spiritual hour or you want a coaching session, you may book times for that as well. Again, link for that in the description box below. And as always, guys, if you like what you see, please subscribe to this channel, and I will see you all soon.